when everybody was thinking that it was shelved, and
then this whole campaign online.
And that whole campaign, which I didn't know about until very, very late in the game.
Really?
I found out about that when I was here in New York. I was visiting my mom.
And when was that?
Whenever it was that they did the protest outside of Sony, it was 5 days before that, because I had no idea. I guess so. Yeah. And I had no idea of anything about them. And again, Steve called me, and I was sitting at my mom's house. And by this point, I was spending my days in my bathrobe, and I was not. I was like, okay, because I had said I wasn't going to do anything, and then for the longest time, nobody was going, please, please do something, you know, and I was pretty fine with it. I was kind of depressed, but I was also going, well, I'm not doing that with my life anymore. Let's see, when the money runs out and I have to get a job, let's see what I'm good at. It was kind of scary and exciting, but I was just kind of I was sitting around watching TV and doing nothing and not really worrying about it. And then the phone rings, and Steve's like, oh, there's all these people that want to talk to you. All these publications really want to talk to you because, you know, these Free Fiona people are going to do this protest. And I was like, who's Free Fiona? And he told me about who they were. And I got off the phone with him, and my first reaction was I ran back into one of the rooms of my mom's house where my mom and my sister were sitting, and I was laughing because I'm standing there in slippers and sweatpants and a bathrobe, and I was like, Mama, so listen to what's happening. There's all these people, and this is what's going on. And I said, look at me. I remember going, look at me. Do you think that they think that I'm on the phone screaming at Sony, let my album go, let my album go, and look at me. I'm watching episodes of Columbo, and that's my whole day. It revolves around that. And this is what I am.
Looking somewhat like Columbo, it sounds
exactly, exactly. Maybe that's why I hitched onto him so much. And so I'm telling her, I was and then I kept on going, and I kept on going and go, because apparently these people are really organized, and they have a website, and my sister started typing up on the website, and they have a website, they've done this, and apples, and whatever. And as I'm saying all this stuff, I started to cry then. I went from laughing hysterically to crying, because I all of a sudden went, oh my God, it was so, you know, it really touched me. It was, all of a sudden, I didn't really think that I cared if people cared, and I didn't think that I cared, but then once I heard about that, and once I was saying it to my mom, it felt, you know, really, really good.
But did it surprise you? Because, I mean, I've always thought of your fans as being some of the ones who really do follow you and your music, intense, devoted. I mean, the people who were into Win the Palm were really into it. I mean, and I mean, I'm surprised it would surprise you that people were that supportive of you and that, you know, anxious to hear new music from you and get it out there.
Well, I suppose I just never expected. I'm so in awe of people that organize like that they want something and they want something. And I mean, granted, I also feel that and felt that the whole thing was not just about me and this album. I think it was a lot bigger than me. I was the catalyst for that whole thing, but it was, you know, about, hey, you can't choose what we would like or what we wouldn't like, you know. You know, them saying about the record companies saying there's no hit on it, so we're not going to release it, and going, wait, we were waiting for that album. I think it stretched beyond just me. I think they were kind of speaking about the whole music industry and how those things happen all the time. Honestly, I felt, and I didn't know how to feel then, after going from laughter to feeling really good. I started to feel kind of panicky and guilty, because I felt like, oh my God, they did all of this stuff and they don't know that I'm the one that quit. I had planned to write a letter and send it and post it on their website, or my website, or whatever. And but it was such a daunting prospect, because it was so much to explain. I wanted to be like, it's not for this reason, but believe me, this would have happened down the road had I not quit. And I didn't know how to explain everything. It was so complicated, and it was so important to me to say it right. And I didn't want to say anything to anybody or put anything out there of what was going on right then, because I didn't want to ruin my chances of maybe having it turn out the way I wanted it to, which, in retrospect, I'm really proud of, because it did end up turning out how I wanted it to. Just by staying silent and letting that keep on going, it did end up working way to my advantage, because I really think that the reason why I finally got the call and said, yeah, you can come in and you can do it all, and you don't have to do it one at a time, and you can do whatever you want, and we won't look over your shoulder. I think I got that call because of the hoopla that Free Fiona did. So I mean, like, I've been chomping at the bit for a long time, and like had this kind of weight on me, wanting to thank them and say how much in awe I am of them, you know, for a long, long time. And so I feel.
So even though their perception of the situation may not have been entirely accurate, what they created helped make this happen.
It served the purpose anyway. So it wasn't the exact. It was a different story, kind of, but it was the same in the end, and it still worked the way that it should have worked.